Okay, so I saw Kong Skull Island last night, which is the latest monster movie in the monster movie shared universe with Godzilla. This one following, of course, King Kong, the legendary 100-foot gorilla. And it kind of disappointed me a little bit. I'm not saying it's a terrible movie, it's not a terrible movie, but compare it to like the 2006 maybe, I think it's 2006. The Peter Jackson King Kong movie is just so much better. There's so much more development. There's more reason for these characters going to Skull Island. But in this one, the plot is basically John Goodman's like the scientist, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a crazy man. I have to go and find this monster." So they all do, and it's like all of the characters in this movie. I mean, the movie doesn't really focus on Kong. He's in it, I guess, more than Godzilla was in the 2014 Godzilla movie. But what Godzilla did better is that they had a reason for Godzilla being there, rather than just, I think, we have to shoehorn in a King Kong movie to make this universe work, so let's just do it. And that's what it felt like, because none of the characters really felt like they had a motivation. Like, they sort of walk into this bar and there's a scene with Tom Hiddleston. There's no explanation for his character. He's just a badass for no reason. And he picks up a pool cue and he batters like some dudes in a bar, and they're like, "Oh, let's take him. He looks like he can kill people." And it's like, he killed someone with a pool cue, and now it's like, let's take him to fight a 100-foot monkey. Okay, and that's what the sort of every character in this movie felt like. I mean, you've got the army, obviously Sam Jackson's the army colonel, and it's like, okay, you take the army along to take this thing down, fine. But I didn't know they were trying to take this down. They were just trying to find the monster, and it's like things like that. It just didn't mesh very well, and there wasn't really a plot to be had here. So characters like Tom Hiddleston being there because he can fight good, and Brie Larson being there because I guess you have to have a female that becomes friends with Kong, and they sort of shoehorn that in towards the end of the movie, like they do in every King Kong movie. So it was like, I don't know. I didn't love this movie. I didn't hate this movie. It was like one of those movies where I watched it and I was like, it happened. A new King Kong movie. Was it good? Not really. Will I see it again? Probably not. But it's not bad enough for me to say, "Oh, nobody should ever watch this movie. It's terrible. Worst movie I've ever seen." It's not like that. So it's like, when you're so average that you can't even really say if it's a good movie or a bad movie, it's not a good thing. So some of the things I liked were Kong himself was really, really cool. He's not in it that much though. Like, he's in it, he has his screen time and he does some cool things. He takes down the helicopters, it's awesome to see. There's a really nice shot of Kong rising up into the sun and you're like, yeah, that's pretty iconic. That looks pretty awesome. But you never have the tragic showdown on this Empire State Building and stuff like that, and that's really a staple of the Kong universe. And I'm glad we didn't have to see it all over again. But if you were going to have him survive, at least have, a sort of reason for him to, rather than just because he has to fight Godzilla. And they even have like a post-credit scene which sets up the King Kong versus Godzilla movie. And it's like they're doing the whole Marvel DC route, and it's fine if you do it right, but so far it's not really been done right, because whilst Godzilla was good, it was good as a standalone movie, and I can't see it being a franchise. So that's just sort of, it didn't work so well, and the humour didn't work. John C. Reilly, I was thinking, yeah, he's probably going to annoy me. He annoyed me, but he was also probably the best part of this movie. He played his role well, and it's not his fault that he annoyed me, it's the script's fault that he annoyed me. I mean, everyone does fine. Samuel L. Jackson, he's Samuel L. Jackson. John Goodman, he's John Goodman. They all play the roles you think they're going to play, that they play in every movie, and they do it well. And it's like we're never given that much time to care about these characters. But when Kong's throwing down, he's throwing down. There's some really cool scenes of him just fighting different monsters. There's these things called skull crawlers, which are in the trailer. They're like big skinless, I guess they're giant lizards. I don't know. They come from under Skull Island, and that's why they're called skull crawlers. Or as John C. Reilly says, it's a made-up name, so whatever. I guess they had to call them something. And there's some really cool scenes of Kong fighting those, but there's some just really stupid scenes. Like, there's this one of this character, I'm not going to spoil who or when it happens or anything, but he sacrifices himself to save the rest of the crew. And it's like, he pulls out these two grenades, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to save you guys, I can do this, and then he just gets, like, destroyed by this big lizard and actually attracts more attention to the crew, so he puts the crew in more danger than if he'd just, like, left it and ran off with the rest of them. So it's like, things like that. They're like heroic sacrifices that don't work. There are, I'm not saying everything's bad. I'm saying the action's cool, but we don't get enough of it, and a lot of it was kind of boring and really, really dumb. The motivations, like I said, were dumb. The creatures just acted really dumb. And it's not like always fun, dummy, but sometimes it is. Sometimes you can laugh at it and be like, yeah, it's unintentionally funny, but at least it's enjoyably unintentionally funny. Some of that is in this movie. Other parts are just like you're rolling your eyes and you're like, I could probably fall asleep right now and not miss much. So yeah, I'm going to say that Kong Skull Island was a disappointment in the end. But at the same time, I'd heard things about it and I didn't have huge expectations for it anyway. The trailers are cooler than the movie itself. Like, you know that thing I did at the beginning with Kong beating his chest? It was really cool to watch that in the trailer. In the movie, it was forced. He just sort of looked at the characters and was like, because he has to, because he's King Kong. So, some of it feels thrown in, some of it feels pointless. A lot of it feels pointless. There's not much of a plot going on. They're just there to be there. Skull Island looks awesome though. Some of the CGI is really bad. Like there's some really obvious blue screen scenes and stuff like that. But when they're animating Kong's face, he looks amazing. So I'm going to give it that. Brie Larson did a pretty good job for the time she had, but they never really take the time to focus on one specific character. It's just a lot of characters that they focus on at once, and it does drag the movie down. It does make it more boring than it should have been. So, yeah, Kong Skull Island did end up being a bit of a disappointment. But I'll say, if you want to see a big monster movie with a lot of fighting and stuff, then don't expect this to be that the whole way through. But if you want to see some cool scenes and you want to see Kong throwing down, there are some really cool things to see in this movie. So it's not entirely shit. So, have you seen Kong Skull Island? Will you see it? If you have, what did you think of it? If you haven't, well, go and see it and let me know what you think. Because I'm not going to go out and say, definitely don't see it. If you want to see it, you go and see it. So let me know what you thought of Kong Skull Island. Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Were you disappointed? Or do you think it has had more hate than it should? And what did you prefer, King Kong or Godzilla? I'm going to say so far I'm rooting for Team Godzilla when that big team-up movie happens. But I guess I'll do a Batman v Superman and it'll be like, hey, Godzilla, we have to fight these other monsters like Mothra. Let's team up and fight it. And then Godzilla's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Atomic breath. So that could probably happen. It will happen. It's a team-up movie. But anyway, are you excited for that movie? I kind of am. I mean, yeah, I was disappointed by this, but I loved Godzilla and I want to see him throw down. So I am kind of looking forward to that. But I can't see how how King Kong would measure up to Godzilla. That's kind of... Yeah, and another thing that I did want to add in is that a whole movie, these characters are sort of rooting for Kong. Like, he's protecting this island. It's his land. These skull crawlers. Well, the skull crawlers, it's their land. I think they were probably there before Kong. So, a bit biased there. Why are you killing Kong? Why are you not killing Kong? Why are you saving Kong and killing these things when they were here first as well? So there's a plot hole for you. So anyway, yeah, like I said, let me know what you thought of Kong Skull Island, and I'll see you guys very soon. Longest outro ever.